What?
We got 2025 June flights, 1v1 stats, record, and shot chart. Shocking. I want to see this one.
YouTube. Today I'm back with another video, and today I'm going to be
Let's do it.
analyzing June Flights 1v1s. Of course, this is the 5th straight year that I've done this type of video, so I want to thank you guys for keeping this series alive. Just like the other videos, I'll be breaking down
I think
June
I ain't
Flights
gonna lie.
game,
When Flight
his
on
1v1
that
record,
Cash and
his
the agent
stats,
beat that
and his
shit, bro.
shot
That shit was
chart
funny.
with all his makes and misses. Then at the end of the video, I'll be comparing this June Flight to the past years to see how much he has improved. The stats in this video will shock you, so without further ado, let's get into it. First, let's talk about June Flight's overall game this year. Offensively,
I think he
Flight
played a
improved
solid C+.
tremendously at the rim.
I think he had a
decided to
solid
play
C+
more up to
rating.
feed, which worked in his favor. He was way more controlled and even developed a nice step through. He got a lot of people
yeah,
in the
I
air
seen that.
since they were all going for the block. Also, Flight had a nice setup with the hesitation that allowed him to explode and quickly gather himself at the rim. It did look like Flight gained some muscle since he was finally leaning into the contact. However, something that Flight needs to improve is his pace. At times, he plays way too fast, which results in easy missed layups. He needs to know when to slow down and stop making his shots harder than they need to be. The potential and improvement are there, but it's those
He
plays
got
that
better,
make
I
the
can say
difference
that.
and decide a game. Also, Flight needs to stop being too predictable. There were many instances where the defense already knew what he was going to do before he even did it.
I ain't gonna lie. What Flight could have did, he could have been like, he could have acted like he was going with the left. Euro to with the right. Hey, look, this is this free game right there, Flight. If you see his video, it's free game. You see what happened when you went up with the try to go with the left, you got packed, got blocked out of bounds. Next time you act like you gonna do it, beam Euro reverse with the left. That's some free game though.
Last year, June Flight.
He wish, but I ain't gonna lie, Flight not that
tough.
good like that.
Let
though,
us
to
help
be
make that easier.
Doing stuff like
We're
that.
your
So,
support.
That's when the basketball IQ comes in. He needs to adjust just like the defense is doing and learn how to counter his shots. Now, when it came to his jump shot, Flight was very inconsistent. At times, he showed glimpses of a proper form, but then he will go on rough stretches. For example, when he played Kenny, Flight started the game 3-for-4 from downtown. His follow-through looked great and he had the right shooting motion. However, due to his poor stamina, he missed the next 4 consecutive threes. These shots were all rushed and some even way too far. Flight needs to stop relying so heavily on his 3. Later in the shot chart, you're gonna notice that a good majority of Flight's misses were deep threes. That type of shot selection cost him a very winnable game against Kenny. At some
He could've won
point,
against-
Flight just needs to lay off the dud pack. You saw how much it affected Cash, so if Flight can just lock in for a month, he's going to have the energy to win games. That's also gonna prevent more
I
air
doubt
balls,
that.
as in this
I
game.
ain't gonna lie, I doubt if Flight will put down a weed though. I doubt that shit. I doubt Flight can go 2 weeks without putting down a weed.
Flight average roughly an airball per game. It's the little things that are going to make the difference between winning and losing a tight game. Lastly, let's talk about Flight's defense. Just like his offense, there were signs of him actually using his size. However, he did have a hard time contesting jumpers. He plays way too far back, and by the time he puts his hands up, he's way too late. Also, he gets blown by way too easily. Guys like Julian Newman had a field day against Flight, and it all starts with his defensive stance. He's literally standing up on defense, and for the millionth time, stop doing this football move. It's never worked, and it's only going to put you on the wrong side of the highlight.
Nah,
There's
facts
literally
though.
no way you can
Like facts. That and the thing about it is everybody saying he can say this a football movie works. No, it don't, cause niggas gonna snatch that bitch back on your ass. That shit is not
or
gonna work.
someone with your back turned. This was probably Flight's worst attribute this June, and it all ties to stamina. Once Flight can improve that, he's going to finish games stronger. Now, with all that being said, let's talk about June Flight's 1v1 record and stats
I think like
from
9
this
and
year.
20.
In June of 2025, Flight played a total of 7 1v1
Oh,
games,
7.
and I'm going to count all of them. This includes all 3 games that he played against Julian Newman. With that in mind, Flight didn't
10.
win a single game this June and had a record of 0-7.
Oh,
His
7,
losses
okay.
came against Julian Newman 3 times, Jeffrey Bowie, Kenny Shao, DeAndre Harden, and Cash Nasty. His worst overall game was easily against Julian Newman in the first game they played. In that game, Fly got skunked 13-0 and shot 0 of 4 from the field. Now despite Fly losing every game, he still had some decent shooting performances. His best game stat-wise was against Julian Newman in the third game they played. Fly shot 53% from the field and had 9 points.
I ain't gonna lie, you losing to Julian Newman is
Now,
crazy. I would never lose to that nigga. That nigga can't do shit.
It is on the screen right now.
Let me see. Field goal attempted 4, 6, 15, 25, 17, 20, 25. 2 points made, 0 the first game, 2, 7, 7, 2, 2. I don't know. I tell you, he had a decent. He had a decent. I ain't gonna lie. He had a decent game against Cash though. I ain't gonna count. He did have a decent game against Cash and Kenny, but like you could have beat Kenny though. Come on, gang. You could have beat Kenny and Cash. You could have beat Cash. He was off the duck pack.
To conclude this section of the video, Flight had a June record of 0-7, and when you combine this with his all-time record, Flight is now 24 and 100.
God damn. He is 24 and 128. Oh my god. That is shit. You might as well say fuck. Oh my god. The only way Flight can make this up, he has to go on a winning streak. He can't lose no more. If he goes on a winning streak from July to December and to all the way to next year of June, he has to win all his games, bro, to make up all that shit.
28. Just to give you guys a quick rundown, Fly was 23 and 112 by the end of last June. He also lost to Jesser, Zach TTG, Dino B Balling, Ray Twice, Drift TJ, Silky, Jason DeWine, and DDG this year.
Nigga lost to DDG. Yeah, bro.
Win since
nigga off the
as he
DDG.
be possibly the worst hooper I've ever seen in Shino. Those 9 losses, as well as the 7 from this June, make the 23 and 112 record go up to 24 and 128. I don't even know what to say at this point.
I ain't gonna lie, that nigga, he should have been a punter in the NFL. That nigga got a strong foot.
Now let's talk about June Flight's 1v1 stats from this year. In the 7 games that I researched, Flight attempted a total of 112 shots from the field and made 35 of them.
Nah, he gotta be a punter though. Put that nigga in the punt team. Ah shit.
31 total field goal percentage. From 3, Flight attempted 40 shots and only made 8 of them, which results in a 20 3-point field goal percentage. Now let's take a look at June Flight's shot chart.
Okay. He made 4 shots top of the key, 2 from the elbow, 1 from the other elbow. Is it elbow? It's alright. 1 from the other elbow. He made a couple mid ranges all around. Okay. You see the X's right here? All these X's could have been right here. You need to limit that shit to all right here. These niggas relying on threes. Like, that nigga should have been hooping in here. All these X's in the inside should be green. Like, there's no way you should be missing that at 6'3". Like, you should be dunking on niggas hard, like, at the rim, putting your shoulder into them, going up. Like, that's crazy.
For 2025, compared to the previous year,
I ain't gonna lie, this shit was worse. I ain't gonna lie, the worst one I seen Flight have, shit, all these damn X's. Oh my god.
there are not as many shots attempted, but it's still worth breaking down. As you see, Fly was pretty efficient around this right block. This is where most of those 2-foot finishes came
That
from.
shit is
However,
terrible.
like I said earlier, Fly shot way too many deep threes. Yes, he made some, but the percentages showed that he wasn't consistent. And last but not least,
I ain't gonna lie, I
shot
want to play
terribly
Flight in a one-on-one. I just want to
in
embarrass
fact,
him.
he went
That's all I want to do.
11 in those 2
I want a
spots
1v1
combined.
Flight,
If
man.
Fly
Flight
can
2 and 3
just
right. I'm
develop
calling
some
you
type
out,
of
bro.
mid-range game, he's
No
going
bullshit.
to
I'm
be
calling
more
you out.
efficient. Now, with that being said, let's compare this June Flight to 2024.
I ain't gonna lie, this June Flight will beat this June Flight. I ain't gonna lie, 2025 June Flight will be 2024.
first. As you see, Flight's field goal percentage went up by 6% and his 3 went up by 8%. Obviously, there's still a lot more work to do, but it's still improvement. Now, in comparison to the other years, this stands out as the most efficient one.
I say
2023 is close to the 3-point percentage, but 2025 has the better total field goal percentage. Obviously, the sample size was smaller and with no wins to back it up, but that's what Flight was able to provide this June. Apparently, he had a quote-unquote grade 1 calf strain.
Hey guys, now this part right here is where I suffered a devastating injury, my first time having a grade 1 calf strain. Per doctors, they said I should lay off of it about 1 to 3 weeks, but hey, it's June!
So hopefully Flight can heal up, and that pretty much concludes this video. Now we know how 2025 June Flight performed in comparison to previous years. His finishing definitely improved, but his shot and defense need to be better. Flight finished this June averaging 6 points per game while shooting 31% from the field and 20% from 3. But what do you guys think? What are your thoughts on June Flight this year? What overall will you give him? Let me know your thoughts down
below. I give him about a 73, 74 overall. I ain't gonna lie, he got some improvement to do. The only way he can reach an 80, he can get a high 80s, the high 80s. He got to get his stamina right, fix his jump shot a little more, get aggressive a little more with the finishing, get the mid range a little more in his bag. Oh yeah, he can be straight. That's what I'm telling you, bro.
Below. Also, let me know if you guys want me to run back the ones with Flight and also play Cash. I know a lot of you have been asking for the ones, so let me know. I hope everyone has a great day. Peace out.
Nah, I ain't gonna lie.